We've come to the end of the first month of Gulfstream 2011, and here's a look back at the highlights of January at Gulfstream Park. At Gulfstream Park, live racing, I had a good first month, and here are the highlights, starting with opening day on January 5th, where my selection in the Grade 3 Old Hat was Final Mesa. But my bet of the day was in the Old Hat Stakes, where I had Final Mesa.
Their way toward the quarter pole.
And now Boys Pistol switches outside, but Final Mesa will take the Old Hat.
Final Mesa was my bet of the day, and by cashing that ticket, I came out a winner on opening day. The next highlight of the month came on January the 8th, the following Saturday, when the feature race that day was the Grade 3 How's Hope. My selection was Soaring Empire. The bet of the day, the most exciting race of the day, was the feature race, the Grade 3 How's Hope. My selection was number 5, Soaring Empire. Was a nice winner that day as well. My next big adventure came on 1 week later, January the 15th, where on Saturday we had the Grade 3 Mr. Prospector, and it was my first best bet of the day at Gulfstream Park, where I had $50 to win on Big Drama, the award-winning sprinter from the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Bet of the day, $50 to win on Big Drama and Mr. Prospector as it came in. Much the best. In spite of cashing that ticket, it looked like I was going to come out behind that day until the final race. As we came to the final race on the day, it looked like I was going to lose $2 for the day. My selection was Slew's Answer. Is very close, but a winner's a winner, and that made me a winner on the day. My next highlight for January came on January the 22nd, when it was Sweetest Chance Stakes. My selection in the feature race on the grass going a mile was 3-year-old fillet looking to head off to the Kentucky Oaks later this spring. Kathman Blue
is moving away from Excited. She's opened up 2. Excited is clearly second. The others are far behind. Kathman Blue takes the Sweetest Chance. Excited.
Go.
Back-to-back Silver Bullet Day, Go Teach Miss at the Fairgrounds, and then bet of the day at Gulfstream. Kathman Blue, much the best. Much the best. Now let's take a look at some of the simulcast highlights from January 2011. The first highlight that I watched on the satellite feeds in the Gulfstream Park came on January 8th, which was the first Saturday, and I had 2 of them that day. The first one was in the Dixie Poker Ace Stakes from the Fairgrounds, the feature race there. I liked Wild Rally, who went off at a nice price at 4-to-1 and paid $10.80. My big bet on the simulcast networks was later that night in the Grade 2 San Pasquale, where I looked for Aggie Engineer to go wire to wire at Santa Anita. And he did. 2 big simulcast winners on the first weekend of the winter. On January the 17th, it was Martin Luther King Day. We had no school, and the one graded stakes race of the day came at Santa Anita, and it was the Grade 2 San Marcos. I did not go with the Breeders' Cup runner-up from the turf. Instead, I went with Bourbon Bay, a genuine horse for the course. He paid over $7, and I made $39 on that bet. Later that night, it was the Eclipse Awards when I was pulling for Zenyatta.
With that, let's go to the video of the finalists in the 2010 Horse of the Year.
The finalists for Horse of the Year are Blame, Goldikova, Zenyatta, Horse of the Year.
The 2010 Horse of the Year, Zenyatta.
Accepting the Eclipse Award for Horse of the Year, Zenyatta, are her owners Jerry and Ann Moss. After being runner-up, Zenyatta for Horse of the Year in 2008 and 2009, the big mare finally captures her greatest prize in 2010.
A much deserving winner. January 22nd was the next simulcast highlight, and it was the Grade 2 Toboggan from Aqueduct. Calabrachoa was a former claimer who was now stepping up to run in his first stakes race. He looked much the best on paper. Very close, but still a winner. A week later, January the 29th, at Santa Anita, my final bet of the day was supposed to be in the 9th race. But, as you'll see, finally the best story of the day, I had one investment left as we left the track. It was Brad Free's best bet, and he liked number 4, Hot Affair, in the 9th race. Well, if you look on my selection sheet, you'll see that I had incorrectly typed in Hot Affair number 4 in the 8th race. So I get home to check the replays, and number 4 is going right to the front on a downhill grass sprint. And I'm like, they're not talking about Hot Affair, they're talking about Ace of Aces. Did I have the wrong bet? So I paused the video, checked it out. Yes, I got the wrong bet. Oh my God, I got 10 to win on Ace of Aces. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be right. Better to be lucky than good, I guess. Finally, on the last day of racing for the month, on January 30th, my second bet of the month came in the Grade 1 Santa Monica, where I thought Switch was tons the best, and I had $100 to win on Switch.
The bet of the weekend. 100 to win. 100 on Switch. Check it out.
8 of a mile to go now, and Pika Slew down on the inside. Kisasana between them, and Switch on the far side. 3 in a line as they come to the quarter pole. Mother Ruth is 2 back 4th. In behind that comes Gilded Gem, and Sweet August Moon dropped out. 1/4 of a mile to go, and Switch is let loose now. And Switch strikes the front and kicks for home. Mother Ruth is coming with her run. On the outside we have Gilded Gem trying to make an impression too, but Switch is in full flight for the wire out on the lead. And it's Switch clear by 5 as they come past the 16th ball. And what an impressive performance in the Grade 1 Santa Monica by Switch.
Much the best. So for the month, my numbers turned out to be, at Gulfstream Park alone, I had 25.5% winners, where I cashed on 25 tickets from 98 races. It's a little bit lower than what I usually get, and ironically, because Sunshine Millions was not the best of days for me, I ended up $3 in the red. So all those bets, $3, 3. Still, my ROI was a solid $1.99, putting me ahead of over 95% of my competition. But the real telling story for January was, as my goal is to beat the winter season, for January, all tracks, simulcast and Gulfstream, I made 164 selections. I had 53 winners. That gives me a nice 32.3% average. Had an ROI of $2.09 for every $2 bet. And I had a profit for the month of $93.25. So it was a good first month. Looking forward to February and continuing our winning ways and trying to get ahead at Gulfstream here in the winter of 2011.